Jesus is love. June 19, 2014. It is well known and understood that God has an eternal, magical presence. Some call this omnipresence, which simply describes His presence is in everything and more. Those that carry the Creator, or God-like personality, is someone who can know and be known, someone who can love and also be loved, someone who can be a friend to you while you are working from the knowing place, as well be a friend to God. Beautiful bright hearts. The concept of truth varies from one dear soul to another, just as the concept of beauty. Yet the concept of beauty does not exist without the person doing the perceiving having a personality. Whereas the idea of divine wholesome goodness can only be understood when relating to personality. Your personal ideas of what beauty means, or what truth is, are shared with you by God. These are attributes of His presence, demonstrated His aliveness within you. God, beautiful bright hearts, is intrinsically kind and compassionate and always infinitely merciful. It is never required to influence God in any way in order to receive the gift of His merciful love that He willingly bestows upon you. When you search God out, when you call for Him, it is His love and kindness that will be felt, like a gentle and soft comfortable embrace that is felt above you, below you, and all around you. Your need of Him is all that is needed, beautiful bright hearts. Because God is always with you, He knows all that you are, He knows all your perfections and imperfections, rights and your wrongs, and when you seek His light and love with a pure and genuine heart, He easily forgives each of you, knowing the journey you are is arduous, yet rewarding with knowledge. The more you make a point to understand the person next to you, even your neighbor, or the cashier that rings your groceries through, the easier it becomes to forgive him for giving you such difficult challenges, and to love him as well with the pure heart each of you has been gifted with. It is well determined, beautiful bright hearts, that mercy is a natural and foreseeable outcome of goodness and love working together in harmony. The good-naturedness of God's love is so grand that it is not possible for Him to not love or show mercy to every single son and daughter that lives and breathes upon this fine, bountiful earth. Knowing that He is there for you, knowing He will forgive you when you reach for Him from a pure and loving heart, provides you with a sense of security, justice, and mercy which altogether describes any current situation as being fair and achievable. There is nothing you cannot accomplish, beautiful bright hearts, when you apply your heart and soul and when you believe in the presence of God and trust Him with your whole heart. God is always love, His beautiful golden sun is love, and the spirit of their energy denotes love and endless mercy to all people of all ages, creed, and culture. Those that follow in the teachings and scriptures of Jesus, God's golden Son, become devoted to the love that God speaks through Jesus. Jesus never engaged His Father to show favoritism to the lowliest of creatures, and He never asked God to gift His gift of mercy to the outlaws and malefactors of the time. He never appealed to God for any such thing because He already believed in His heart and knew that God's love was real, and this knowing was Jesus' eternal source of God's mercy. And it was this knowing that Jesus never requested from His Father. He trusted in His Father with His whole heart for each step of His journey. Every action Jesus performed was a direct revelation of God working through Him, sharing universal love and connectedness. The greatest error any one person can perform, beautiful bright hearts, is deception, especially self-deception. When one is moving within the actions and motions of self-deception, they are craving attention or trying to exercise some form of power over others for the sole purpose of depriving them or denying them of their own natural abilities and talents. The attention seeker, or the one who always puts themselves on an invisible pedestal, is not demonstrating the godlike personality, they are demonstrating the controlling aspect of their attention-seeking ego. Yet it is the golden rule that is often remembered, maybe not in name but in practice, when coming across someone who is not coming from their authentic self. When the untruth or exaggerated truth is discovered, there is much uproar where people cry for fairness against those that speak and move through actions that speak of selfishness, deceit, and without righteousness. The only pure way of countering those that are coming from an untruthful place is to shine love and mercy upon them, praying to God to help deliver them to the light of His love and healing. God's love is divine, and divine love, beautiful bright hearts, does not only forgive, it absorbs, takes away and dissolves the wrongs that were done. The forgiving side of love transcends into the forgiveness of mercy. It is mercy that divides the responsibility of wrongness to one side, allowing love to come forward in order to end the immoral actions once and for all. Following Jesus and his divine teachings based on love helps bring you to new directions and understanding of forgiveness and of its salvation from condemnation. Remember, dear ones, salvation or redemption does not consider the wrongs to be insignificant or even slight. What salvation does is make them right by learning from them. Jesus' love is not all about forgiveness, it is also about surviving within the eternal presence of God. So often you hear from your children, possibly other people's children, or even from others you pass on your way to work or taking care of personal errands, you hear complaints about the unfairness of life, or the unfairness of this or that. Try to imagine, beautiful bright hearts, how truly miserable you would be if you always treated others the exact same way they treated us, instead of how you would prefer to be treated. Do you think there would be more progress if everyone got exactly what they deserved? The children that are raised with a merciful and loving heart are most likely to demonstrate mercy and love to other children and to other people. It is much easier to teach consistently to a child by your own actions what it means to be loving and merciful. The parents and the caregivers are the children's first impression on what it means to be good, kind, merciful, loving, hateful, and spiteful, compassionate, me-seeking, and so on. They are not called monkeys for nothing. It is because they have an uncanny way of copying or demonstrating what they are taught at home or where they are cared for the majority of the time. If you want to help your family to become more merciful, more forgiving and accepting like Jesus without sounding like you are preaching, then remember, dear ones, your teaching then comes from your own actions. The more you demonstrate unconditional love, kindness, truth, respect and so forth, the more mercy you will also show to others, and your family will pick on the parts that resonate with them, and share their newly learned ways with their friends and so forth. It is not something that is grown overnight, but with daily consistency it is something that can bring hope and change into any family. If you are trying to show your young children what it means to be compassionate, try making it into a game. Use a blindfold, find some headphones, or even a cane or crutches and pretend to be someone who is deaf, blind, or someone unable to walk well, or someone who needs a little help getting across the road. Encourage them with questions that start off with simple requests and make them more challenging to bring in change and to gauge their progress. It may only be a game, but it is a game that teaches basic awareness, compassion, and appreciation and many other fine traits that the child will pick up. These exercises can be applied with older children. Depending on their age, you may want to use a bit more creative ingenuity. Other ways that encourage more mercy and love in your family is with the use of I will statements. When you say I will, you are being clear, concise, and those two simple words denote promise without making a promise, such as, I will be more aware, I will be more attentive, I will listen more, I will be more helpful, I will treat all people with respect. There are an endless list of I wills that you can come up, that you are willing to follow through with, that will encourage other family members, especially your children, to try them in everyday challenges and situations. What you are doing, beautiful bright hearts, is helping your family to become more aware, more accepting, more willing to see beyond themselves. As you can see, it does not require you to be hugely spiritual. You are not required to preach the scriptures or say Jesus' name when you are helping your family to become more loving and merciful. Your actions alone that are pure and filled with loving intentions speak of Jesus and speak of God's presence. The coming of Jesus is not found through external sources, but from within. He is already there. Let him guide you to newer forgiving and loving ways, and come home to your own oneness and authentic nature of mercy and love. And so it is. I am Ascended Master, Lady Nada, through Julie Miller. SpiritualNetworks.com